Everything was going well at the wedding until the big pot of party jollof rice fell to the ground. Before we continue, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video and drop your comment. That's how you support our storytelling family here so that more people can enjoy these African stories with you. There was one woman called Mama Kemi. She was well known in the whole neighborhood for her delicious food. If you hear people talking about her, they always say, if Mama Kemi is the one cooking, the party will not fail. One day, her younger brother's daughter was getting married. They planned the wedding to be in the community hall, and everything depended on Mama Kemi's cooking, especially the party jollof rice. You know how in Nigeria, people don't even rate your event if the jollof rice is not correct? Yes, that's how important it was. Mama Kemi promised everybody that she will cook the best jollof rice they had ever tasted. She even bought a very big pot, bigger than the one she normally used, because the crowd was going to be plenty. On the morning of the wedding, everywhere was busy. Chairs and canopies were being arranged, the DJ was testing his speakers, children were running up and down, and the bride's friends were decorating the hall with flowers and balloons. But the most important corner was the cooking area behind the hall, where big pots were arranged on open firewood stoves. The smell of onions, pepper, and spices filled the air. Everybody that passed by said, this jollof will be fire. Whoa. Mama Kemi tied her wrapper tight, put on her headscarf, and stood like a general commanding an army. She had her helpers, Auntie Sade cutting tomatoes, young boys washing rice, and 2 women fanning the firewood so the flames would not die. Finally, the moment came. Mama Kemi poured the parboiled rice into the biggest pot, added the fried stew, poured her secret stock, and stirred it with a long wooden spoon. The pot was so heavy that 2 men had to help lift it properly on the fire. The aroma started traveling. People in the next street were already sniffing and saying, "Where is that sweet smell coming from?" Mama Kemi smiled. She knew the success of the party depended on this rice. If this jollof comes out well, she thought, the wedding will be remembered forever. But as they say, in every good story, something must happen. Just as the rice was almost ready, something terrible occurred. One of the small boys helping to find the fire stumbled. His leg hit the wooden stand where the big pot was resting. The pot shook. At first, Mama Kemi shouted, "Be careful!" But before she could rush, the heavy pot slid sideways, tilted, and in slow motion, the whole pot of jollof rice tumbled down to the ground. Bam! The rice scattered on the sand, some still steaming, some sticking to the pot, and some burning at the edge of the fire. There was silence for 2 seconds, then screams everywhere. "Mama Kemi, the jollof is on the floor," someone shouted. The bride's mother almost fainted. The groom's family started whispering. The DJ stopped the music for a moment because even he had to look at what happened. Children ran to the corner, some laughing, some confused. The rice was gone. The party jollof had fallen. Mama Kemi held her head. "Oh my God, what have I done? What will people eat now?" She felt tears coming, but she swallowed hard. A whole wedding could not scatter because of one accident. Immediately, people started arguing. Some women shouted at the small boy who hit the pot. "Where were you running? See what you have caused." Others turned to Mama Kemi. "Why didn't you secure the pot well? Why put such a heavy pot on weak wood?" But the boy was already crying, saying, "It was mistake, it was mistake." The air was full of quarrel, and the party had not even started. Guests were already arriving, expecting to eat. Inside the hall, the bride, Kemi's niece, heard what happened. She was wearing her white gown, already nervous. When the news reached her ears, she burst into tears. "How can my wedding be remembered as the one where people didn't eat jollof rice?" she cried. Her friends tried to console her, but the panic spread like fire. People were whispering, "They said the jollof has fallen, so what will we eat?" Mama Kemi sat down for a moment, holding her chin. She thought hard. She couldn't just give up. She remembered something. In her kitchen at home, not far from the venue, she still had bags of rice, some tomatoes, and chicken stock. It would not be as big as the original clan, but it was something. She stood up suddenly and clapped her hands. "Everybody keep quiet. We cannot cry over falling jollof. Let's act fast. Some of you, follow me to my house. We are cooking another pot." Mama Kemi and a few strong men rushed to her house. They carried the bags of rice, cartons of tinned tomatoes, pepper, onions, and gallons of oil. Back at the hall, others quickly cleaned the ground where the rice had fallen. They reset the firewood stove, this time with a stronger stand. Time was going, and guests were beginning to tap their feet impatiently. Some had already sat with their plates ready. The MC was buying time by cracking jokes, but people wanted food. This time, Mama Kemi decided not to cook one giant pot. She split the rice into 3 medium pots, so even if one fell, the other 2 would survive. She worked like a warrior. Sweat rolled down her face, but she didn't stop. She fried the stew quickly, poured in the rice and stirred. The helpers moved faster than before, as if their lives depended on it. Everyone encouraged her. "Mama Kemi, you can do it!" Meanwhile, in the hall, the guests started to murmur. Some said, "This wedding is dry, oh, no food yet." Others whispered, "If not for the drinks, we would have gone." The bride was still worried, but her aunt came to whisper to her, "Don't cry again, food is coming. Trust me." As the rice started steaming, the sweet aroma filled the air again. This time, even stronger than before. People walking past the cooking area stopped and smiled. "Yes, jollof is back!" Children started clapping. Even the DJ increased the volume of the music as if the smell gave him energy. Mama Kemi tasted the rice, nodded, and said, "It is ready. Start dishing." Quickly, the women began serving. Plates of red, smoky jollof rice went round. Chicken and plantain followed. Guests who were murmuring before now started smiling and dancing on their chairs. Someone shouted, "This jollof is even sweeter than the first one," though nobody tasted the first because it had fallen. The bride's tears turned to laughter when she saw people eating happily. Once food entered stomachs, the party transformed. People were dancing, spraying money, shouting, "DJ, louder!" The bride and groom finally enjoyed their day, taking pictures and laughing. Everyone forgot about the accident. In fact, some guests who came late didn't even know the pot of rice had fallen. At the end of the wedding, people gathered to thank Mama Kemi. The bride hugged her and said, "Auntie, you saved my day." Mama Kemi smiled but wiped her face with her wrapper. I have learnt my lesson. Never put all your rice in one pot. And when something bad happens, don't waste time crying. Just find another way." And from that day, whenever people told the story of that wedding, they always laughed and said, "Ah, the jollof that fell but rose again."